Hi everybody, it's Janet with Fruit of the Vine Art Studio. Thank you for joining me on this beautiful day. I just wanted to show you what we did in the Kids Club this week. As you know, St. Patrick's Day just passed, and we did the Lucky Leprechaun, and he's got a whole different looking background. We had a really good time doing that. That was a lot of fun. So we've got all kinds of fun that goes on in the Kids Clubhouse. It's something that your family might enjoy. It's $20 for the whole family, $20 per month. Something you think you'd like to get into, just let me know. We've got a waiting list right now, but you could always end up in the club. Anyway, what we're going to do today is we're going to paint a 3D Easter cross. Now, I offer this as a kit right here, and that way you can see it. This is a $35 kit, and it is, I'll show you what's all inside of this kit when you order it. First, you're going to get, of course, an instruction page that's going to give you a reference photo and instructions on how you can create this particular kit. Now, is it step by step? No, it is not, because the kit itself, it's sort of an individual type kit, because it's sort of up to you how you want to do this. And I'm sure you're thinking, what do you mean by that? Well, I'm going to show you just exactly what I mean by that. Now, here's the kit. The kit comes with this beautiful 12-inch pre-etched, you can see the lines are etched in it, pre-etched cross with all these little additional pieces in there. See them floating around in the plastic bag? Okay, that's what's going to be in there. Now, besides that, you're going to get 2 strips of paint, one that's going to have all of your primary colors in it, and then another one that's got some glitter paints in it. These are actually metallic paints in this one, so that you can add it some extra shine and sparkle if that's what you want to do. And you can mix up, you'll get a color chart with all the different, mixing chart with all the different stuff in it. You're going to get a couple of paint brushes, flat brush, round brush. You're going to get a chip brush with this, a couple of stir sticks, a palette, some candy, a couple of little goodies are thrown in there. You can kind of see the bag. Now, that doesn't mean that's exactly what will come in yours, but it'll be basically that kind of stuff, little goodies. So what we're going to do today is we're going to go ahead and we're going to paint one of these Easter crosses. Now, these crosses, as you can see, they do require glue. And I'm not including the glue with that, because that's kind of up to you to glue it at your house. And it's a hot glue kind of thing that you're going to do. Now, do you have to do hot glue? No, you don't. What happened here? All of a sudden, that just went away. There we go. Now I can see it. That way, if you pop on, I'd really love it if you'd say, hey, and let me know that you're out there. But anyway, this kit right here is a $35 kit for the Easter cross. Now, I've got mine already out here, and I'm going to give you hints and tips on the best way to put this together and how to do it. So what I've done already, let me tilt you down a little bit, and we're going to zoom you in so that you can kind of get a better view of what we're doing right here. Now, you've got all these pieces, and what do I mean by it's up to you? Well, let me tell you, there's quite a few different ways you can do this. Look, you could do it on every other one. Take these little pieces, these little chevrons, diamond shapes. You can do it this way. This is just one of many ways that you can do this. Using up these, you'll see that there's enough to go here, here, and here. Now, if you've got it flipped over and the brown side showing you, oh, no, it doesn't matter. You're going to paint it. Don't worry about it. Doesn't matter. Okay, so you can do it this way, right? Like this. See how that looks? Now, maybe you don't want to do that. Maybe you want to accentuate the cross portion of it more. Let's just push these together. Well, I'm not getting them exactly, but when you go to glue them, you're going to make them exact. But here we go. This is what that would look like. Accentuating just the cross portion of it. See how that would look? That's really pretty that way too, isn't it? And then maybe you like, get that out of here. the star shape that's in the middle here. And you want to accentuate that. And do it this way. So when I say that it doesn't come with a step-by-step instruction, I hope you understand why. It's just a little hard to do a step-by-step when it's really a personal project and it's up to you how you're wanting to do that. Wait a minute, we got 2 extra right there. That's how this would look. Now with this design, as I just did, there's 2 extras. You can do anything you want with them. You can just leave this way. They're just extra. There's nowhere really that you would put them that would make any kind of sense that would look right. So that's just 2 extra ones if you're doing this particular one. But if not, you're doing this one where it accentuates the star in the middle. Wait a minute. Let me get them all back on here again. I'm getting them all pushed out. Where we're going to put it here. Put it here. Take these off there. We've got this one. If you're not accentuating that, you can do it like this. Or like I showed you, you can push them all together and do the cross. So it's really, truly, it's up to you how you want to do it. I'm going to do it just like this. I'm just going to try this with this one. Now, another thing I want you to note is that if you've noticed, if you're looking at mine, I don't know if you can see it, but I've got different letters in different areas. And you're probably thinking, well, what is that for? Well, if you're going to make a particular pattern or design, you might find it easier to go ahead and write the letters, the beginning letter, you know. I'm going to use a light pink, a dark pink, a primary green, and a primary yellow. Those are the colors that I am going to use. So I've got an L and a D for light and dark, and I've got a G and a Y for green and yellow. Now, they probably look backwards to you. Right now, they're upside down to me. So, but that's what my lettering scheme is here. So for this, I would want to look at now there's no reason for me to paint these areas, right? I mean, I can get paint on it, but it doesn't matter. I don't have to paint this exact color because this is going to have something glued right on the top of it, just like that. So starting off just by painting it, you know, there's really not a lot of need to do that right there, right this second. Trying to figure out where did my hot glue gun go. Did I hang it in the hook of the tree? Because I'm going to have that up here. I may have to yell for Steve. Anyway, so what I'm going to do here is now I'm going to divide these out into the colors that they are going to be. Okay? That'll make it easiest for me. So this is going to be green. So there's going to be a green pile. I'll put it right there facing the green. This is going to be yellow. So I'm just going to put the yellow right here, and we'll put these yellow ones next to it. This will be the easiest way. We're going to put the green ones right over here next to that. This one is going to be a green one. This one's going to be a yellow one. This one's going to be dark pink. This one's going to be light pink. This one's going to be dark pink. This one's going to be yellow. This one's going to be green. This one's going to be light pink. This one's going to be yellow. This one's going to be light pink. This one's going to be yellow. This one's going to be dark pink. This one's going to be dark pink. This one's going to be light pink. This one's going to be yellow. And this one's going to be green. So it looks like there's quite a few more yellow than there are. Well, actually, there's 4 of the dark pink, 4 of the light pink, 4 of the dark green, and then we've got 6 of the yellow for this particular design that I'm going to make. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and paint these little pieces first. That's my suggestion as to how you want to do this. It's going to make it easiest for you to follow the design that you've already created in mind that you want it to look like. So I'm going to start with the yellow. And I can put that over here because we're going to be painting these yellow, right? Now, I'm not going to worry about getting the sides either. I'm not going to concern myself with that. I'm just going to paint the tops, okay? And it'll go pretty quickly, actually. We're just going to... And I might put 2 coats on them, depending on how this looks. They're kind of small, so they want to jump out of your hand. Gonna need a little more paint for that one. Want it to at least look like it's got paint on it, huh? There we go. Like I said, I got 6 yellows. We've got 4 of them here. Now, another thing that I can suggest about doing this is if you have an old credit card or an old gift card that no longer is any good, that you no longer need, you can use that when it comes to painting in your lined area. If you're one of those people, and I know that many people are those kind of people that are very concerned about staying within those lines. Believe you me, I understand that. I'm a person that has to allow myself to be loose and not stay on the lines, or I become quite stressed about it. Okay? So now we can look at this, and we know that here is chevrons all around this inside, right? These 2. So this is a yellow. This is going to be yellow. I'm just going to put a little paint in every spot that has yellow. Just to make it easier for myself, to make sure that I'm not painting in the wrong spot. Like I said, I don't have to paint under there, but I want to make sure that I'm putting the right pieces in the right spots, and that I'm not painting something with the wrong color. So we're just going to, and I kind of want those to not show through anyway, so we're going to put at least 1 layer of this on top of where I've penciled on here. Now, a lot of people just wing it too. They don't even care what the pattern could be. They just want it to be, they'll just color as they go, just paint as they go. And that's really, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. As I said, some people, I'm more of a control kind of person, I guess. I try to make myself do things to, say, okay, loosen up, loosen up. But I know that I have little issues with myself that say, oh, no, don't do it that way. Don't do this. Don't get that. Oh, don't get out that line. It's okay. It's okay. That's why I had to remind myself. It's okay, man. It's okay. Okay, so we've got these yellow ones here. Now we're going to go ahead. We know that these are the chevrons in here. So this is chevron, so I don't have to do that. But this one does need to be painted here. So like I said, if you're one of those type people, where did I put that little piece of paper? See, I got this like little tag left over from my Dollar Tree thing. I could take this and I could put it right there. And then I wouldn't have to worry about how I'm painting right there into that line, right? Do the same thing right there if I want to. Put it right here so I don't worry about getting it on the outside of this line. If I'm going to be this controlled about it, I may as well just get myself a smaller brush. Because you do get the small brushes with it too. And a lot of times, if you just want to keep it all nice and uniform looking, the smaller brushes fit into the little areas better. Get a little bit right there, just wipe it off. So there, we've got this one's yellow now. And yes, this yellow does have sort of a look to it while it's drying, but it looks really pretty once you get everything done and assembled. And this is the primary yellow that's in the kit, just a primary yellow. Now, like I said, you could do yours with the metallics if you want. You can make your design with metallics in there. Mine's just going to be spring colors, guys. I'm just using some spring colors. I want some pink. I want some magenta. I want a little yellow. I'd like a little green. I am so tired of winter. We have had some beautiful 70-degree days here now, and of course the weekend's here, and it's not pretty. It's rainy, and well, actually, it's kind of maybe clearing up a little bit out there. It's not as bad as it was. Of course, it could be better. It could be better, that's for sure. I'm going to do this one yellow. And I'm just ready for the spring to show up next Sunday. Yep, we're about a week away from spring. Now that chip brush is also going to be very important when it comes to doing the outside look. If you like that farmhouse kind of rustic look to it, I'm going to show you how you can do that with your chip brush in 2 different colors. And you can do any 2 colors that you want. A lot of people like those black and white farmhouse look. You could do that around the frame if that's what you want to do, because you're going to have plenty of black and white that you can use that, you know, that I'm not using in my color design, but you could even make yours black and white if that's what you wanted to do, and that'd be very pretty too. Just want to make sure that you look at it real well and figure out which is the alternating pieces, because it would not, unless you have more than one area where like 2 black meet up, you would want to make sure that it has staggered black and white. Because there's nothing like little OCD to point it out, huh? Okay, this one I don't need to paint. This is the inside of there. That would have been, I really didn't need to paint. I don't really care. I'm just going to go ahead and paint it, guys. Don't worry about it. I'm just going to go ahead and paint them. And that way I know where they're all going to go. I don't have to worry about it. Waste a little paint. Why not? I've got it out anyway. May as well use it. But I'm not going to worry about this one being too perfect, because I know that that's just going to be covered up anyway. Okay. So we got this one right here. Just making that the yellow. Got a little bit over the edge. I'm going to take my finger and just wipe it off. That's only going to be a issue for me when I get to the edging here. And I'm not going to worry about that either, because I am going to give it a farmhouse rugged kind of look to it, but I'm going to do it with the pinks. With the very pinks that I'm using here. Now, no, the pinks are not in the kit. If you want pink, you just have to take some red and some white. You've got plenty of both in there. And for your darker, you're going to use less white with the red. And then for the lighter pink, you would just use more white with it. Let me get that out of the way. Try and move stuff to where it stays with what it's supposed to be with, but isn't in the way. Now this one I don't got to get too specific with. This is going to be a staggered chevron right there. Well, actually, these should have just been... No, I'll let it go. We'll do it this way. I'm going to do it this way. Maybe I intended that, but this is how it's going to work out. I was going to make it have a whole white and pink outside, but that's okay. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to do exactly what I'm doing right now. Get that extra paint that's all up at the top of my hand, the brush there. Squish it onto here so I can use it. No need to have it all in the top of the brush. go. So, what are you guys doing on the weekend? Having some big plans? Somebody got anything fun to do? We're going to probably take the dog for a walk. That's always sort of the plan. And of course, you know, all the fun stuff, you know. Laundry and such that you do when you don't work. But that's not today. That's... Oh, what was that? Something over here snapping. Nothing pops off. Something happening at the clubhouse. Yeah, we read a little story earlier at the clubhouse. So for those of you that are in the clubhouse, if you haven't stopped over there today, you might want to look at the art prompt and draw that for the day. And there's a wonderful little story on there for you guys to listen to. I read a story. I enjoy reading stories. Okay, let's put a little more yellow on these guys. And I'm just going in the opposite direction that I went last time. Just to sort of make sure all the top gets a nice cover. There we go. Oop, come here. All right, push that back over there. Come here. I had left the TV on down there, and it's on that crazy Impractical Jokers, and I can hear them guys just laughing away. Hey, guys ever watch that stuff? I couldn't imagine doing the things that they asked each other to do. They're supposed to be friends. I would question my friendship with those guys. It's a silly show. It's fun, though. We all have some goofy thing that we're watching, huh? Okay, so that's got too much hanging on the edges there. Rub that off. You guys have all had, you need one. And when I do it this way, then I can tell which one actually had the second layer already added to it, because I can see the crisscross of what I painted. How the pattern first went this way and now the pattern's going that way. So yes, I know that they are all second layer of yellow is on there. Same with like these. Now we'll just go ahead. Now this one, I don't need to do the second layer on. So we're going to let that go. This one doesn't need a second layer. This one does. This one does. This one does. So we'll go. Bring it down. Yellow's the lightest color that we're using here, so that's why I've started with that. I'm going to go to the pinks next. So this one will go. And see, now I really don't have to worry too much about this because these are going to have chevrons right on the top of them. So if I get across the line a little bit, it's not going to hurt it. I just want that to be a little thicker. This one's a chevron. That'll have a chevron on it. This one won't. This one will. This one won't. It'll put this crossed right here. Let's get this a little thicker. Right there. That's a chevron. This one's not. Okay. Am I getting it on my shirt? Get out of the way over there. Dang. I didn't get it on my shirt. I looked. Wouldn't have hurt anyway, it's yellow, huh? I don't think that would excuse that there. There we go. We'll just take our finger and wipe that off and sort of straighten them out just a little bit. And I'm not going to worry too much about that. We're going to push these off to the side for a moment. And then we're going to work on that light pink. Okay, wipe that yellow out of my brush. So if you're using the kit, you're going to take the red and the white, and you're going to make two separate pinks if you're making this particular design. And this would be the lighter of your two pinks. Okay, now I have 4 of those that have to be painted. I wonder if that would work, if I just put them all together just like that and just paint them. I doubt that they would stay together. As soon as I touch them, they'll start scooting all over. You all know how that works, huh? Yeah, that's all right. We'll just paint them and not worry about it. Just paint on them and get them covered. Okay. Scooch over a little bit. Get back over here. Maybe it'd be easier if I held this one to use that, and that way I wouldn't have to keep touching it, and I can cover it better. Then, of course, I gotta still touch this one, don't I? Doesn't really matter. The pink does a better job of covering than that yellow, but I figured that it would. The yellow is just such a light color that I knew that, you know, most likely going to need 2 layers on that in order for it to really pop. There, come on, hold on to it, paint. Okay, so now we've got those 4 painted, and we'll go ahead and look for all of the little L's, which are a light. So that's going to be light. This one's going to be light. Now, if you haven't put your lettering on there, you would definitely just want to put the color spots in each area. But my lettering is already on there. I can see the L's. So there's really no need to just put big glob spotches in the middle for me. I'm just going to go on and paint it. There we go. That's going to be a pink. Now, of course, this is in the middle of the chevron, so I don't really have to paint it. But why not? We've already started that stuff, so let's just keep going with what we've done. And that way you'll kind of also get an idea of what my pattern is going to actually look like. And it's a very random pattern, actually. It is not a rhyme nor reason. You know, it's not going to be like every one next to the yellow is going to be pink, because no, it is not. or that everyone in this corner is going to be light. Yeah, well, yeah, it kind of is in this particular case, but they're not all going to be the same. There we go. And if you get it over the other line and you're worried about it, just take your finger and rub it off a little bit. It's okay. There we go. Let's see. This one's light. Of course, he's one of the ones that's going to have a chevron over the top of him. But we'll go ahead and paint it just like we did the other ones. Okay, and we've got a light one over here at this end. Oh, there's something at the door. I forgot to turn off my notifications again, guys. Every weekend, I always forget. Oh, well. Sorry about that. This one's going to be light pink right here. I'm using just nice springy colors. I just needed something springy looking here. All my daffodils are blooming out in the front, and that got me wanting to do something with the yellow in it. And we've got, well, the pretty purple crocuses came up too, but I didn't get the purple. I got the magenta instead. Tulips getting ready to come up. It's just that time of year, and I just love it. Okay, this one right here, it's got a light. Right there. Hold that up on the corner and just, that way you can get it right into the edges, just where you want it. Down here we've got one light pink. Or you can squiggle it back and forth and get it into the edges too. I do that a lot. Give it a good drag. Drag it along, huh? Trying to cover up my pencil marks by putting a little bit thicker in spots. Okay, so let's see. This is not, this is not, this is not. I know you guys didn't understand that, huh? Okay, but this is going to have another layer. Right there. This one's going to need another layer. Right there. Okay. This one will need another layer here, and this one here. No, this one doesn't, because chevron, non-chevron. This will. So we'll put another layer on you. This does. I hear that. Downstairs, I could hear it. Okay, so there, we've got those covered. This one over here is going to need it. This one doesn't. This one will, but I don't know, it might not. It might have enough on it. I'm just trying to see if I can see my pencil mark through there, and if I can, then I'm trying to put another layer on a little bit thicker to at least cover it up. Okay, so this is a yes, no, yes. So we don't have to do that. So that one down there, I think it's going to be covered. So I think that might be all the pink that we need then. Do these need a second layer? I don't think so. I think they look pretty good. Okay, so now we're ready for the dark pink. So we're just going to rinse this off and get us out some magenta, which of course would just be more red. Add a little more red. Oh, there's Michael's wanting something. Sorry about that, guys. Michael's wants to put their 2 cents in. Now we've got 4 of these that are going to be in the magenta. Right there. So we'll just go ahead and just paint them up. Oh, don't keep turning around and around and around. And for those of you that were with me last week, or Wednesday, and I was telling you about my son being in a motorcycle accident, he did break his collarbone. It's completely snapped in half. He is getting his operation on Monday. So, if you would just mind, keep him in your prayers for a good, successful operation and quick and speedy healing. He's David, my youngest. His motorcycle's fine. He won't be able to ride it until after May now, though, so he's unfortunately going to miss out on all the fun spring activities when it comes to that, but he's good. He's doing really good, so that's the main thing. That's so much more important than being able to ride the motorcycle, because after he heals, he can ride the motorcycle, right? That's the way that stuff works. Just wait till you're healed, and then you'll be fine. You can ride your motorcycle. Okay, so now we're just going to do all the little dark spots, and that's going to be a D on here. You know, maybe it might be better if I just... I don't know, that might get eraser on everything. We'll just get a little bit of it off. How's that? How's that? To where it's not quite as dark. Get off of there. Don't get in the wet paint. Doesn't matter. That one would. Although I think this magenta most likely is going to definitely cover. There we go. Now just go back to the magenta and we'll finish doing what we were doing right here. Get up on its side. Just sort of wiggle it back and forth here. There we go. This one right here. You don't have to worry too much about getting over that line there, because that one's going to have a chevron on top of it. Don't want to get it all crazy up here. There we go. This one right here. Right there. I can still, no, I guess that doesn't matter. I can see it. I can fix that though. I was thinking I could still see through that yellow enough to see that Y, but it may not be noticeable once we get going here. This dark one's going to go right here. The more I think about it, I might do a green for the frame. That might make that pop all the more, because there's not a whole lot of green in here. This is a dark one. there. Not too worried about getting it too perfect for that. Right here. Hey, Steve. Thank you for commenting. I see that there. I appreciate that. Let's put this right there. This is going to be the dark color here. This one down here at this bottom part. Don't get too much paint. There we go. Get that off my finger. Well, I guess that's got something, yeah, that's got a glue on the top of it, so. Hey, Steve. Do you hear me? Steve? What's on the stairs? Is that you or is that the dog? Bring up my hot glue gun. Please. And thank you, please. And that way when we get to that point, I can just go right ahead and get gluing, huh? Okay. Everything else on here has a G, so they're all going to be green. That yellow, I think I'm going to have to do another layer of, because I can definitely see through that. Okay, so let's get us some green out. Oh. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
You need more glue?
No, that's got plenty for, I think, what I'm going to do. Everybody give Steve a round of applause for getting us the hot glue gun so that we can continue crafting and always having fun. Yes. I'm just going to push these pink ones out of the way here and get the green one over here. Rinse my little brush out. And I am going to take my eraser and erase that off. I wish I'd have done it on the Y's for the yellow. But that's okay, I didn't, so. That one doesn't really matter, it will be glued on. But I hate to get it. Little eraser marks in the paint. I'm trying to avoid that. No, yes, no. Okay. Let's get that green. Take these guys here. There's 4 of these. Just put a nice pretty layer of that green on there. Wasn't sure if I should use a yellow green or a darker green, but I thought a darker green would probably make it pop just a little bit better. Although a pretty yellow-green might have been very nice. Maybe that's what I should have done for the yellow instead of yellow, since it's so light. But that's okay now. We've already done the yellow, so we're going to go with yellow. And we'll just fill in the greens. Now this one actually is going to have a thing glued on it, so doesn't have to be exact. There we go. This will be a green. I've got one crazy hair on my brush that's wanting to point itself out, and I'm trying to push itself back where it's supposed to be. Sometimes brushes do that kind of stuff. Have a wild hair. Don't have to worry about this being too specific. These will be glued over. This one here has got to have glue over it. That'll be glued over. This one will not. So we're gonna be just a little more careful when it comes to doing its edging for right here and right here specifically. You get just a little more paint on there. This will be green right here. I'm still trying to decide if I'm going to do the outer edge and greens. I think I might. I think that might make it show more. Push that back down there. There we go. Just bring it around this area here. This one does not have anything glued on the top of it, so I'm trying to not come across this line. These two lines don't matter much because it's going to have something glued over on those edges. This one right here will have something glued over it. See, I didn't want to add a purple to it because I was afraid that might be too Mardi Gras. A little Mardi Gras look to it with the purple, green, and yellow. So that's why we got in the pinks here instead of the crocus colors of purple. Although I do love some pretty crocus and tulips. I always love it when the spring flowers come up. I'm happy with the flowers. They just add so much to the landscape. Especially those wildflowers that just pop up out of nowhere and they're just beautiful and blooming and happy. Be like a wildflower. Just show up. Be beautiful and be happy. Go right in here. right here. This does have a chevron glued on it. Right there. Okay, so now we're ready for this outside edge. And I'm going to take this dark green and I'm just going to paint it the dark green color first. Just take your time. I'm going to push these out of the way over here and just turn this a little bit so that I can work on this edge. I'll make sure I'm still keeping it within your guys' sight. As usual, I'm getting it all over my fingers. That's just part of it for me, huh? Just going to get that little drop of green off of right there. Right in there. Come over to this edge. Get some more green and just push it up against it. Turn it and push it up against it. A little bit of St. Patrick's looking green to it, but that, no, it's a spring green is what we're going to go with. I'm going to get some light green, yellow green, and go over. And it's going to have a different kind of look to it, you'll see. This one doesn't have to be as careful right there at all. Just right here. A little ooky thing hanging in it. A little boogity. Paint boogity. Okay. Now we're down to this end. I'm trying to get that paint that's at the top of the bristles out of the brush to be used. Just dragging it along. There we go. You guys still see what I'm doing here? Let me move this. Yeah, we're all good. We can be seen. Bring it across, pull it down. Whoop, don't drop your brush. Try to flip it over. Take this and push it up. Right up to that line. A little too much paint right there. Push this right into there, up this corner. Turn it back that way, and I can turn my brush this way and get up in this corner. Now we're ready for here. We're almost going to have this. Well, we're going to be done painting in just a few minutes. I got to get the other green out. And I may have to go back over some yellow, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. That can be done. After we see how it looks, huh? There's plenty of time for that. This corner didn't get painted right there. You can see that magenta missing. You know how to fix it? Stick your finger in the paint. There you go. It's fixed. No need to get the brush back in the magenta just for that. Just take my finger and stick in there and do it that way. You know, we've been finger painting for years and years. No shame. Little finger painting. Okay, right there. And now we've got it completely painted, and you can see the whole pattern now. I think it's going to look really pretty when we get the other pieces on top of it. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get my light green. It's an apple tart. Got a little apple tart. And I'm going to let this dry for a second. While that's drying, I'm going to plug in my glue gun, rinse this brush off. I'm going to get my, oops, where'd that go? Come here. Plug in your glue gun, Janet. Okay. Unplug that. There we go. Glue gun's plugged in. I'm going to need my paper towel because we are going to use what is called the dry brush method. Okay? Hey, Jackie. Thanks for joining me. What is this in the way there? I can see that there. Thank you. I appreciate you saying that. It's going to look really pretty once we get it all assembled here, and I'm going to give it a little bit of a different look around the edges. Let me get this yellow off here. And then we'll use this side. Well, maybe I got that a little wet. Flip it open. Use the middle. We'll make it work. We'll make that work. Okay. Just waiting on the hot glue gun to get hot. We can see how these are all going to fit together. We're going to be putting... Whoop, these yellow ones stuck. Right here. Right there. No, that one's not going to get it. That one's going to get it. Right there. Whoop. Don't get too shaky. Right there. Yes. here. I gotta look at it and remember it's every other chevron, every other chevron, every other chevron. Okay, so then this would go here. Now, this one's gonna go right here. That one's gonna go right there. I haven't got them glued yet, and I'm already stressing about it. Oh no! Nothing new. Light pink. Light pink. Light pink. Light pink. Dark pink. Dark pink. Dark pink. And dark pink. And that's going to be basically, we still got to add the pretty out part to it, but that's going to be how it's going to end up looking. If I could just hurry up and get this to dry. Are you hot yet? Because I can do the middle ones while I'm waiting. Yow! You know what? I think it's hot. Okay, so yeah, I think that's hot. Dang on, touched it again, Janet. Let's just take these middle ones off right here. And start working on that. We'll put a glob of glue right here. There we go. Let's get this yellow one. There we go. Dark pink. Light pink. Sticking to my finger. Back to green. Whoops, come back here, green. Okay, right in here. Luckily, when you first put them down, they do give you just a little bit of wiggle room to get it straight. Here's the yellow one. Try to keep the strings off of the top of it. Okay, dark pink. And then light pink. Push it up in there until it fits nice and tight. We'll go with these two right here, this dark green. The yellow. There we go, that's perfect. Take these two off, get these strings out of here. Lots and lots of crazy glue string. Okay, hot pink. Yellow. Light pink. And the yellow. Here, let's turn it that way so that that glob of glue is up in here. There we go. Now we got these two right here. Turn it the right way. There we go. Right here. Ouch, I got it on me. Okay, one more. And now we've got it glued together. There we go. Let me unplug this thing, because it'll just keep on spitting glue. Let's pull all this crazy strings off. Get them out of the way before we finish here, if I can. Here's one going right across here. I don't know if you guys can see them, but I can see them all over the place. There's one there, one there. Okay. Ooh, isn't that pretty, just like that? Thank you, Jessica. Now I'm going to do one last thing to it. I'm going to take this light green, and I just need a little bit of it. And I'm going to take my chip brush. That comes in the kit. You get the chip brush in the kit. And I'm going to basically rub the green off of my brush. Get just to where there's just a little bit of paint on that brush. And I'm just going to take it and just drag it in different, just sort of let it make spots. Let me get a little more. And that almost looks like I'm using the yellow, but I'm not. Okay, get a little bit more and rub it off. I don't know if you guys can see what it's doing yet, but I'll show you in just a second here. It's kind of giving it that look like maybe I might have had this for a while, maybe, or maybe its paint's kind of flaking off a little bit, or it's been sanded possibly. You know, that little bit of a rustic look to it, just a wee bit. The whole thing, it's called dry brush because you're basically rubbing all the paint off of it and almost just going over it with a dry brush. Okay, I think that pretty well does it right there. Now, I don't know if you can really see how that, I know you can now, how that gives it an aged kind of look around the outside just by adding that little bit. Now, if you wanted, you actually could even take some yellow and get it and rub it off to the side just like you did with the light green. The yellow shows up just a little bit better than that light green did, actually. You don't need the light green at all. You just do it with the yellow. That's the dry brush method that we've just added it to the edges here with the yellow. That really shows up better. Maybe right there a little more. Right at the top. All right, guys, it's done. That's all I'm going to do to it today. I think it looks really pretty. I love how it turned out. I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate you being here. And I will see you again real soon. Bye.